Shalom, family. With Shabbat Shalom. Shalom. Shalom to the Akim Akwa scattered abroad. Shalom. Shalom. Right, another prophecy update. And before I get started, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, wa Malak Yahushai, Yahweh, who the world really calls God, Jehovah Yahweh, and every other false, incorrupt pronunciation. But the true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and it means He exists. Who the world calls Jesus Christ ignorantly, His name is Yahushai, and His name means, and Yahushai means He delivered. The Most High God Yahweh sent His only begotten Son, Yahushai, to deliver the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, Salakia, man, woman, and child, the children of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. So there's a lot happening in the earth. Right? We're going to jump and dive straight into these scriptures, straight into this living water. All right, so a lot of prophecy is taking place upon the earth. So who can but prophesy? Let me get that in Amos. Amos chapter 3 and verse number 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people be not afraid? So right now, men and women should be trembling. Now, because even us as well, we should be walking on eggshells. Because we know for the most part, but it's about to get terrible out here. It's about to get bad. So on the fear of the Lord should be at an all-time high. I'll say that. To stay on this straight and narrow path that we on. To stay in the spirit the best we can. To do this work. To be occupied in prophecies. Because the Lord is about to take a lot of people out. Right? We're in the time of the Lord requiring souls. So I'm going to read it again. Amos chapter 3 and 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people be not afraid? Shall there be evil in the city and Yahweh have not done it? Surely Yahweh power will do nothing, but He revealeth His secret unto His servants, the prophets. So the Lord set it up that the men go out and teach. They do whether it be on the highways and hedges, on this internet highway, throwing up these videos, warning the people, feeding the sheep. Then the Lord brings the evil. The Lord brings the judgment. But the verse I want to, in more particular, is verse number 8. The lion hath roared, and who will not fear? Yahweh power hath spoken, and who can but prophesy? Hey, so we have to prophesy. We have to talk about these things that the Lord is doing upon this earth. Now, I want to start off with Jeremiah 28, so I'll go back to that, and then I'll jump straight into the first prophecy I got pulled up. Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse number 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And that's what's happening. All we see on the earth is war, evil, and pestilence. And America is a great kingdom, if not one of the greatest kingdoms that ever lived upon this earth. But we're watching the fall of a kingdom. We're watching the fall of an empire. And before it falls, Esau's going to try to take everybody down with it, in particular the hopeful elect. So I'm going to jump into this first prophecy. So, Trump says China, this from abcnews.com. If you didn't know, now you know. I'm going to play a little bit of this.
China's President Xi Jinping with a grand show of force,
中华民族
marking 80 years since the end of World War II with its biggest ever military parade. We were there as the crowd of more than 50,000 waved Chinese flags cheering as thousands of soldiers marched in perfect unison. Several hundred ground weapon systems on display, over 100 aircraft, and jets ripping through the sky above Tiananmen Square. The guests of honor, Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un with Xi together for the first time, watching over the parade from the balcony.
The crowd is clapping as Xi Jinping is flanked by Putin and Kim just over there in an extraordinary show of unity.
And for Xi, a chance to unveil his country's newest military hardware to the world.
We're seeing hypersonic missiles, stealth fighters, drones. This is about Chinese President Xi Jinping showing that his military is modern, that it's advanced and ready for combat.
President Trump's tariffs putting a strain on relations with China.
Done.
Trump lashing out on social media, accusing Xi of conspiring against the US, saying, "Please give my warmest regards to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un as you conspire against the United States of America."
Done. So it's done. This is public. He's coming out with this stuff publicly. And that's exactly what they're doing. The weak is now saying, I am strong. So I'm just going to read it a little bit. I mean, for the most part, the video covered it. The weak is now coming against the big bad wolf. This the hammer of the whole earth. And the Lord's about to break this kingdom down using Putin, Xi, and Kim Jong-un and their allies. So America doesn't have a chance. At one point in time, no one would dare to mess with America, but it's done. This place is coming to an end. So in the second this place goes down is the moment we're now free, and now we can serve Yahweh Bashim Hawashai how it was intended us to serve him wholeheartedly. We can't do that in this kingdom. But we're watching, we're getting ready to be able to. The Lord's about to free the elect, and Lord willing, that be us. Trump says China is conspiring against U.S. with Putin, Kim meeting at military parade. The biggest military parade since World War II, and they said it's only 80 years is not a long time. 80 years is not, there's people still alive from World War II, that era. So you can see that this thing is going down. The Lord said, let me get, the third woe cometh quickly. Revelation. So bear with me 1 second. Revelation chapter 11 and verse number 14. The second woe is past. World War I, World War II, which is only 80 years ago. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly. The third woe is coming quick. We're watching it. We're literally watching the third woe coming quickly, with these nations clicking up together. And then this man is allegedly dying, hands swollen, yellow hands, crazy pictures coming up, slurred speech. So we're watching the fall of this great whore. Let me get Sirach 25. Sirach chapter 25 and verse number 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy. And the 10th I will utter with my tongue, a man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And everybody knows that these people are our enemy. We don't have to say it. They show us. It's the history, it's the track records that they try and take out of the museums and things of that nature. The Americans, the Europeans in general, are the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man's enemy, the Israelites' enemy. It's nothing we even did but be chosen by the Lord. We didn't choose to be your enemy. So when we tell you now you're all in your feelings, well, you got to take it up with the Lord, man. You got to take it up with the Heavenly Father. It has nothing to do with us at the end of the day. So get ready to fight China, Russia, and India as well, which we get into. I got pulled up, and North Korea. So that's your fight. Don't worry about us no more. All right, this one is not on. This one on you, Esau. So I'm gonna close that out, and then just to land back, just to NBCnews.com. Putin hails the friendship with China as Kim Jong-un arrives to show force. So they flexing. And look at them.
No matter
and
where
low
you are
key, these
or
Edomites,
where
they're
you
scared
go, you can shop for
because they know
Warby
they don't
Parker
got no
glasses with a
technology
trusted
that can really
advisor
cut. Now they may have
who knows
something
your face,
cut, but they really
knows
don't
your
got nothing that
style,
can really match. And he didn't even show
and
everything.
recommends
'Cause, you know,
personalized picks,
the
all
kings of
from
the
your
East, they're
phone.
wise. They didn't show everything.
Well, more than 20 world leaders are arriving in China for what's set to be the country's
They got some
largest
stuff in the
ever
stash.
military parade. Tomorrow's event commemorates the 80th anniversary of the end of
It's
World
pretty
War
much the same thing.
But West held hands with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi before they took a long car ride together and embraced Xi Jinping.
Well, you see, Hong Kong, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un arrived in Beijing on Tuesday to join Russia's Vladimir Putin and China's Xi Jinping for a show of force against the West. So it's open. Earlier, the Russian leader greeted his host as a dear friend and said relations between the two countries had reached their highest level in history as they sought to challenge U.S. global dominance. So that's what this thing is about. They taking this place down. The Lord is allowing the weak to say I am strong. Let me go to Joel. And if you can't see it, it's because the Lord has blinded you. And you need to pray that the Lord open your eyes. Joel chapter 3 verse number 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near and let them come up. And that's what's happening. There's war all on the earth. That's just on a major level. But there's war everywhere. You got people protesting against MAGA. Protests everywhere. Everywhere is protests. As soon Second Ezra is going to come into play, which we're in the time of Second Ezra, that these normal citizens, they're not going to regard these politicians and the governors and things of that nature. That's why Trump is setting up the military in all these major cities. They're getting used to the American people seeing troops, because martial law, you could say it's in effect, but it's just going to ramp up. Verse number 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, and let the weak say, I am strong. Because again, at one point in time, these nations would not dare to do what they're doing right now. But we're at the end. And what are they doing? Verse number 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. And that's what's happening. And at the end of the day, the Lord is just really gathering them to bring them to the valley of Jehoshaphat to destroy them. Let me just keep reading. Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, or Yahweh Shaphat, Yahweh's decision. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in a sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. So the day of the Lord is near. The day of the Lord is near, when all these heathen are going to pay for what they have done to the Lord's people. So I'm just going to get everything I got pulled up. I'm not going to skip nothing. So again, this guy from India. India looks to mend ties with China as Trump's tariffs push it away from the U.S. So, and then it's all his tariffs that he's doing. The pride and the stoutness of his heart is really bringing his downfall. So they're taxing India, and look, he's pushing to China. So he's bringing this about. They're bringing about their own downfall, because we get it all the time. My brothers get it all the time. But there's no expiration date on the precept. I'm just going to spice it up and get in the NLT. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse number 14. The Lord, 13. Isaiah 19 and 13. The officials of Zoan are fools. And when you go into Zoan, because one might say, where's Zoan? I don't know where Zoan is. I didn't grow up on Zoan Street. My county there's no Zoan County in America. Well, Zoan is a ancient name for a city that would be in Babylon today. Because again, the Lord speaks in code. The Lord had to disguise this thing, or we would never woke up to the acknowledgement of the truth. We wouldn't know anything. So Zoan, a place of departure, which is spiritual, because we departed from Egypt, getting ready to depart from this Egypt. But I'm going to get to the point. An ancient city of Lower Egypt, called by the Tannis by the Greeks. So it's a city in Egypt. So these cities in Egypt, the officials in Babylon are fools. These major cities, D.C., what else? What's the major? Chicago. The major cities in America. The officials in California, their officials are fools, divided up. And the officials of Memphis are deluded. The leaders of the people have led Egypt astray. And what's Trump doing? He's leading his people astray. He's using the hatred and the racism towards the Israelites, towards the so-called blacks and Hispanics, to fuel his agenda, to really aid his power. That's what he's doing. He's using the low-level devil, these Edomites, their hatred towards Jake, to really lock down the whole world, because he don't give a damn about his own people. He don't give a damn about himself. The Lord have sent a spirit of foolishness on them, so all their suggestions are wrong. They cause Egypt to stagger like a drunk in his vomit. There is nothing Egypt can do. All are helpless, the head and the tail, the noble palm, branch, and lowly reed. And that day the Egyptians will be as weak as women. They will cower in fear beneath the upraised fist of Yahweh of heaven's armies. Just to speak the name of Israel will terrorize them, for Yahweh of heaven's armies has laid out his plans against them. So, and then you got these Christians, they want to come together and repent. They want to come together for a worldwide fast. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. If I can't, you're going to have to find it. Christians, worldwide fast. Let me see if I can find it. It was like a thing going on. I seen it. Yeah, it was a thing. There's actually a thing. So these Christians want to go on a worldwide 3-day fast Numerous organized fasts take place among Christians worldwide. Hold on, here it goes. Recent worldwide fasting movements. Worldwide Christian Fast 2025. A recent viral TikTok campaign called for Christians around the world to participate in a 3-day water-only fast at the end of August 2025. The fast was coordinated effort for unity among Christians in prayer for their respective nations. But what's this going to do? What is this going to do? Even if they did, and all the Christians didn't do it, but even if they did do it, the Lord's not going to turn away the punishment thereof. Because what did we just read? Isaiah 19 and 15 again. What I want. 17. Isaiah 19 and 17. Just to speak the name of Yasha Allah will terrorize them. For Yahweh of heaven's armies has laid out his plans against them. And the Lord is not going to turn back. The Lord is sending these plagues. The Lord's not going to turn back. The plagues are sent. Who is he that may drive them away? Nobody. Let me get that. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse number 5. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? No Christian 3-day water fast is going to stop Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's judgment. It's just not going to happen. The Lord has set the world in a balance, and he does not move nor stir until the said measure be filled. Paraphrasing. 2nd Ezra chapter 3 and verse number 34. 2nd Ezra 4 and verse number 7. I'll read 36. And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer and said, even when the number of seeds is filled in you, for he hath weighed the world in a balance. By measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times. And he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So this thing is set. We're on a time clock. This thing is moving. Nobody could stop what's coming. And even this devil said that. He took a play right out of the Most High's book. Let's see if I can find it. Look at this. The world will soon understand nothing can stop what is coming. Because he thinks he's the Most High. But the Lord, there's no one can stop what Yahweh and Bahashim Yahushai is about to do upon this earth. No one can stop what they're about to do. This guy's done. He doesn't have too much longer. Right? The Lord's moving him out of the way. Right, let me go to the next slide. So this from endtimeheadlines.com. DC sues Trump administration over National Guard deployment. So the Attorney General for the District of Columbia announced Thursday that the nation's capital is suing the Trump administration over the deployment of National Guard troops within the city's boundaries, alleging the violation amounts to unconstitutional and voluntary military occupation. So they all divided up. And what did the Lord say about a kingdom that's divided? Matthew chapter 12 and verse number 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. So this is not going to stand. And even, again, we went into earlier, MAGA is divided up. MAGA is all jammed up and divided up. So this place is done because the people are now realizing that this president has lied to them. Well, you know, a couple months ago, hundreds marched, just from a couple days ago, like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, hundreds marched to White House to protest Trump's DC crackdown. So this place is done. We just gotta endure. We just gotta wait. But it's coming, isn't it? It's set. It's set. What else did he have there? China's to parade. This from defensenews.com. China to parade new missiles in Beijing, including Guam killer. What is the Guam killer? New Zealand, Russia, and North Korean leaders Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un respectively joined Chinese leader Xi Jinping on its Tiananmen Square Rostrum in Beijing on September 3rd to witness a parade vaunting China's military might. But what is the Guam killer? I just want to get straight to what the Guam killer is. After its unveiling in 2015, the DF-26 intermediate range ballistic missile was christened the Guam killer, since it has sufficient range to reach the U.S. island territory from China. So they're naming things, naming missiles. They're naming these missiles because they specifically could fit certain regions or hit certain regions in Babylon. So they're not making these missiles to pass down to their children. These things are made to be used. And who made them? Isaiah chapter 54 and verse number 16. And missiles are in the Bible. Nuclear missiles are in the Bible. We're going to get one precept. Isaiah chapter 54 and verse number 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth the instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. This is the waster. This is one of them. This is one of the wasters that's going to destroy Babylon the Great. These things will be fired off and fired at this place. We can't stop them, nor will we, why would we want to. But this is how this place is going to be taken down. And then, what is he doing? Look, just look at this. But he says he's for peace. Trump, this from BBC.com. Trump to rebrand Pentagon as Department of War. Why, if all you want is peace? Why? U.S. President Donald Trump is directing that the Department of Defense be known as the Department of War. Why not the Department of Peace? Why not the Department of Peace if you truly want peace? He will sign an executive order on Friday for the Defense Department to use the new name as secretary title for the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to be known as Secretary of War. The Pentagon, which oversees the U.S. Armed Services, is the successor of the War Department, which was first established as a cabinet-level agency in 1789 and existed until 1947. The responsibility of creating executive departments rests with the U.S. Congress, meaning that an amendment would be required to legally change the department's name. So the Department of War. Where we just reading Jeremiah 28. What we just reading Jeremiah 28? Of war and of evil and of pestilence. What the hell do brothers look like going out and just saying all love, all peace, like these bugged out Christians of the world do? When all we see is all war, all evil, all pestilence. These people are destroyed, man. Destroyed. Babylon has destroyed the minds of the American people. Of war. That's what's on this earth. War. And who's a man of war? Exodus chapter 15 and verse number 3. Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. That's why there's war on the earth. Because the Lord gets down. He's known, one of his titles is the Lord of Sabaoth. What is the Lord of Sabaoth? What does Sabaoth mean? Let me get it. I'm gonna get the precept. I'm gonna go to the get it in the blue letter. James chapter 5 and 14. James chapter 5 and 4. James chapter 5 and verse number 4. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which of you is kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entering to the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. So the Lord is hearing our cries. So what does Sabaoth mean? The Lord of Sabaoth, the Lord of the armies of Israel, as those who are under the leadership and protection of Yahweh maintain his cause in war. Who's under the leadership of Yahweh? I believe it's Psalms 103 and verse number 20. I believe. Psalms 103 and verse number 20. Bless ye Yahweh, ye his angels that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word. The angels, the so-called UAPs, the so-called UFOs. Those are the chariots of Israel. They all in the Bible. That's the cloud by day. That's the pillar of fire by night. That's what Yahushua was ascended up to in the cloud in Acts the 1st chapter and the 9th verse. That's the spirit that's descended like a dove, I believe in Matthew the 3rd chapter, when Yahushua was baptized by John the Baptist. That's the star that the wise men used to find Yahushua. Those are the eyes of the Lord. These are our salvation. These are the vehicles of our salvation. The Rakab Yum. Rakab vehicle. Yum is S. Rakab Yum. These are the vehicles of Yasha Allah's deliverance. All right, a couple more and we'll end out. Close out. So sickness. And then even where I'm at, it's a surge of the sickness. So it says, the sickness wave washes over California. Some officials urge residents to mask up. So, and it's about to we're coming into that cold season again. Right? The pestilence wave is washing over California, with the state seeing continued increases in the number of newly confirmed cases and hospitalizations as some officials urge the public to take greater precautions. The extent of the recent increases has prompted some county-level health officials to recommend that residents once again consider wearing masks in indoor public settings, at least until transmission has declined. So, I mean, what more does the Lord have to show you, right? The Lord is merciful in giving us this much. But everything that Yahushua said is coming to pass. Matthew chapter 24 and verse number 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him, privately saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, or Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars, which we're hearing, and rumors of wars, which we're seeing. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, different nationalities of people clashing against different nationalities of people. That's race wars. And kingdom against kingdom. Again, that's what we're seeing. And there shall be famines, which there is famines. There are famines in Gaza that I'm sure are still going on, soon coming to Babylon. And pestilences, sicknesses. And it's just the start. The Lord gonna tell it. And earthquakes in diverse places. How did I forget that? So it says, where's it? Okay. And earthquakes. This is from the Reuters.com. 2 powerful aftershocks pummel Afghanistan Afghanistan after earthquakes killed 2,200. Earthquakes in diverse places. And this updated 23 hours ago. 2 powerful aftershocks strike within 12 hours. More than 6,700 homes destroyed, survivors say in the open. Rescuers slow by landslides, block roads, rough terrain. The World Health Organization warns of disease, pestilence, overcrowding, and lack of sanitation. The United Nations says money is running low. Plans of emergency funding appeal. So you see? What did Yahushua say? For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So we're in the beginning of sorrows. And what are the sorrows? Verse number 9. Then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So the persecution is about to come. Oh, call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because that goes perfect with the next, the last prophecy. Then the persecution is going to come. And that's what we're living in. So this from the agc.org. The American Jewish Committees translate hate glossary, empowers you to identify, expose, and report anything against Shem. Click on the terms below to learn more about how anything against Shem, tropes, words, and symbols hide in plain sight for the internet to pop up culture. So look at the things that you can't say. Well, I got this from I was watching a brother last night. See, you can't. The word like creatures. Man. Gaslighting. The goyim know. And then like the brother was saying, man, they get these from the Israelites. The Great Replacement, greed. These are the names you cannot say. So it's up. It's up. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted. You see this? So it's done. This thing is done. I'll end off with this. Revelation chapter 2:9 and 3:9. Revelation chapter 2:9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee the crown of life. So the Lord is showing you that the devil is getting ready to cast some brothers into prison. But we have to be faithful unto death, and the Lord's going to raise us up with a better resurrection. Revelation chapter 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. All right, so that's another prophecy update. This is what we got to look forward to, because this thing is going down. We don't have too much longer left. So I give all honor, glory, and praise to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Wamalak, Yahweh Shai. Until next time, family, endure and shalom.